Welcome to Brainish English Stories.
Isn't it strange how we remember things from a long time ago, even when we wish we could forget them? This memory is really old, but it sticks in my mind so clearly. I've seen a lot of scary stuff since then, but I still think about Mother Bellflower all the time. Let me tell you about her. She used to come to my house every Thursday to fix our clothes. We lived in a big old house with some farms nearby. The village wasn't far, just a short walk away. There was a big church there made of red bricks. It looked really old, blackened with age. And let me tell you about our house. It was one of those big country houses called chateaux. They have pointy roofs and a few farms around them. That's where we lived. Every Thursday morning, right between 6:30 and 7, Mother Clochette would arrive at our house. She would go straight to the linen room and start working. Let me describe her to you. She was tall and skinny, but what made her stand out was her hairy face. Yes, you heard that right. She had hair growing all over her face in funny curly bunches. It looked like someone had scattered them there randomly. She even had hair on her nose, under her nose, on her chin, and on her cheeks. Her eyebrows were thick and long, and they looked like big mustaches. Now, here's the interesting part. When Mother Clochette walked, she didn't limp like most people with a leg problem. No, she walked like a ship swaying in the sea. It was like she was getting ready to ride a huge wave. Her head, covered in a big white cap, moved from side to side as she walked, like it was sailing across the horizon. But you know what? Despite her funny appearance, I loved Mother Clochette. As soon as I woke up, I would go to the linen room to see her. She always had a foot warmer ready for me to sit on so I wouldn't catch a cold in the chilly room. She used to say it would keep my throat warm. While Mother Clochette fixed our clothes, she told me stories. She had these old glasses that made her eyes look huge. Her fingers were long and a bit bent, but they moved quickly when she worked. She told me about what happened in our village. Like the time a cow ran away from the farm and ended up near Mr. Mallet's windmill. Or when someone found an egg in the church tower and nobody knew how it got there. She even told me about a dog named Jean Pila who went on a long journey to get his owner's pants back after a thief took them. Her stories were so interesting. They felt like big adventures, even though they were about simple things. I loved listening to her more than the stories my mom read to me at night. One Tuesday, after spending the whole morning with Mother Clochette, I went to see her again. I had been picking hazelnuts with the servant in the woods behind the farm. I remember it like it was yesterday. I opened the door to the linen room and saw Mother Clochette lying on the ground. Her face was down, and she had one hand holding a needle and the other holding one of my shirts. Her leg was stretched out under her chair, and her glasses were on the wall nearby. I screamed and ran away. Everyone came running, and they told me that Mother Clochette had passed away. I felt really sad and scared. I went to the drawing room and hid in a dark corner, crying. I stayed there for a long time until it got dark. Then, someone came in with a lamp, but they didn't see me. I heard my parents talking to the doctor. The doctor said Mother Clochette broke her leg the same day he arrived. He hadn't even had time to wash his hands before he was called to help her. He said it was a really bad injury. When Mother Clochette was 17, she was a very pretty girl, you know. It's hard to believe, right? I've never told anyone this story before, but now that she's gone, I can share it. There was this new teacher who came to our village. He was handsome and looked like a soldier. All the girls liked him, but he didn't pay them much attention. He was scared of his boss, the old schoolmaster, Mr. Grabu. Now, Mr. Grabu had already hired a girl named Hortense, who we called Clochette because she worked with bells. The new teacher liked Clochette a lot. He made her feel special and asked her to meet him secretly in the hayloft behind the school at night. Clochette pretended to go home but hid in the hay instead. When the teacher came, they started talking sweetly to each other. But then, Mr. Grabu showed up and asked what they were doing there. The teacher got nervous and said he was just resting among the hay. The hayloft was really big and very dark. The teacher, Sigisbert, told Clochette to hide at the far end because he was afraid of losing his job. When Mr. Grabu heard them whispering, he asked if Clochette was alone. She said yes, but Mr. Grabu didn't believe her. He locked the door and went to get a light. Sigisbert, the teacher, got really scared and angry. He told Clochette to hide so Mr. Grabu wouldn't find her. He was worried that his job would be in danger because of her. They heard the key turning in the lock again, and Clochette ran to the window. She opened it quickly and said in a quiet but determined voice, "You'll come get me when he's gone," and then she jumped out. Mr. Grabu couldn't find anyone in the hayloft. He went back downstairs, surprised. About 15 minutes later, Sigisbert came to me and told me what happened. Clochette was still lying at the bottom of the wall outside. She couldn't get up because she fell from the second floor. I went with him to bring her back. It was raining really hard, and Clochette's leg was badly broken. She didn't complain. She just said, "I am punished, well punished." I called for help and told Clochette's family a made-up story about a runaway carriage hurting her outside my house. They believed me. The police looked for the person who hurt her, but they couldn't find anyone. That's the whole story. Clochette was a hero. She only loved once and she died without ever being married. She was brave and kind. I wouldn't have told you this story while she was alive. But now that she's gone, I want you to know what a wonderful person she was. After the doctor finished talking, my mom cried, and my dad said some things I didn't understand. Then they left the room, and I stayed on my knees, crying, while I heard people carrying Clochette's body away.